Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello and welcome to episode 142 of the Film Blurs. I'm Jeff Stewart, aka Uncle Jeffrey, aka JOT Dynamite, aka Praetorian Jeff, Revengeman Button, He Who Remains, Petty Ruxpin, Jobu Tupaki, Little Tom, this motherfucker, to be determined, Black Giovanni Ribisi, Chocolate Tarantino, Ebony Spielberg. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something. And I'm joined here, as always, with my friend and co-host.
Hello, ball bags. It's Brandon Norwood, a.k.a. Hero Protagonist, giving my gun with my inverted bullets so I could shoot you in reverse and laugh about it. And then walk out the room backwards and speak backwards like I'm in a fucking David Lynch movie. A.k.a. the true father of Joe, Kanye, and Aubrey's kids. Yo, Aubrey, them lawsuits making you feel so lonely. My kids, your kids are laughing at you. A.k.a. Poppy Chulo, a.k.a. the Glizzy King, a.k.a. Mr. Krusty, a.k.a. the Lethal Protector, a.k.a. it's Morbin time, a.k.a. Ezekiel Sims. Bad ADR don't match my mouth, a.k.a. it's time to go hunting. Play B. Jorts Hunter. Craven is coming. I'm the hunter. I'm going hunting.
Not with the Bjork. Not with the Bjork.
Hunters, mount up. AKA my biggest pet peeve is sports because I don't like seeing grown men sweat on each other. AKA I want a super rap bag with mad strippers in the back giving shape ups. AKA Rough McGruff. AKA D's nuts. And AKA B Wood, the Mob Deeb. Call me your messiah or you'll be looking just as dumb as Drake.
Drake is hip-hop Karen now, isn't he?
Oh, like, hell yeah.
He's that motherfucker calling on people at a barbecue.
I wanted to go see, before we get into this bit of news that we have to get into, and I'll explain it once we get into it. I want to say, Kendrick and SZA, y'all were foul to put tickets on sale for your stadium show that's not happening till fucking May. Like, I don't know why this couldn't happen till, like, the new year. Y'all waited till after Black Friday, during Christmas time, to put tickets on sale. And all of Black Twitter's just like, yeah, nah. Because we looking at these prices, and I'm like, baby, like, nah, I'm sorry.
What are the prices?
Well, me and my brother were going to spend $200 a piece, which is kind of tight for us right now.
Right.
Number one, because we were going to save up for that shit. So 200 get you top of the second level.
Wait. Oof. Yeah.
So you're not in the nosebleeds, but you're in like the middle of the arena. Because I'm afraid of heights. I like to sit in the lower level of a stadium or arena. I don't need to be on the floor. I don't need to be on the railing. As long as I'm on the lower level, all good. Yeah, bro. I was just like, my brother's like, yo, look, Brandon, we both love Kendrick, but like, I don't even think we should be spending this much money. And I was like, yeah, because like, no offense to SZA, I'm really not trying to see SZA in concert.
Right. And like $200, that means you're spending $300 between the travel, food, fees, like,
and then on top of that, Ticketmaster's doing that fucking dynamic pricing. So like, if a $200 ticket is selling well, then they'll fucking juke up the prices to like $300-$400.
Nah, that's all right.
Yeah, I was just like, yo, listen, I said this about the last tour, and I only said this about the last tours because we had just spent money on seeing Rage Against the Machine. I was like, I can't spend more money to see Kendrick. So like now I'm just like, damn, bro. Well, looks like I'm gonna put off seeing you again.
Oh man.
When Prince headlined the Super Bowl, right after, he's like, by the way, tickets for my tour go on sale later this week. When Beyonce performed at the Super Bowl, had a whole video announcement, the Formation Tour going on sale tomorrow. Why didn't you just wait till the Super Bowl where we're all a little more fluid? Because the holidays are in full swing. Like, we just came out of Thanksgiving. It was just Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Now we got Christmas and New Year's coming up. Like, bro, wrong time.
Money is tight.
Yeah, man, like wrong time to be saying I'm going on a tour. Well, Jeff, I got an email from our contacts. And you know, we have to scratch the back so often because they really wanted us to talk about this. And I'm like, yo, y'all should have sent us this email 2 days before the show premiered and not the day that the show fucking premieres.
Oh, okay.
So we should get into it. Star Wars is celebrating Black fatherhood because, like I said in our review episode, Tunde Abumpty is Wim's father. He is Wendell. So Wendell and Wim, they are highlighting the first two main Black characters in a Star Wars property besides, you know, James Earl Jones.
I mean, what about... Are we talking father-son, or are we just talking about like Black characters?
It is highlighting, it's breaking the mold by highlighting Black fatherhood through a father-son dynamic, because TV dads have been a place of comfort within Black culture. And, you know, like Uncle Phil on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or John Marshall as Floyd Henderson and Smart Guy, Anthony Anderson and Blackish, and many others. So, and I'm like, yeah. Look,
I mean, cool.
I'm like, yeah. Look, I'm not even mad at it. Like it was on my mind as I was watching it, but not something. But you know what? Wendell's such a negligent ass father. It's just like hard for me to say this is a good, healthy dynamic because it's not.
Right. Like, I mean, how am I supposed to celebrate it when he is a dick? Right? Like, I'm sure throughout the course of the show, on his journey to reunite with his son, he will realize that he's been fucking up as a father, because that's a staple. But like right now, you haven't even painted him as someone likable.
Yo, I'm saying, right? Because in the first episode, he's like, "Did you move my telepad?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "I told you not to move my telepad." And he's like, "Bro, I ain't touch it."
Right.
And then just walks over and gives him like a bunch of cool coins, like, "Here's your lunch money." And I'm just like, damn, bro, seriously?
Yeah, and remember when your son crashed into the ditch and you were more angry that he missed the test and you had to leave work, rather than like, oh yeah, is anything broken? How are you?
My man, I guess we'll find out what happened to his father, but like, I mean, his mother. But
yeah.
My man, if you can't handle it, hire a nanny or somebody, or ask a neighbor to help out. Like my parents did when they had to be at work, they'd ask the neighbors like, "Hey, can you make sure my kids get to school?"
Right.
And they're like, "Yeah, right. Send them over, feed them breakfast, make sure to get on the bus." And that's exactly what happened. Like, bro, you have a support system, then you wouldn't be such a piece of shit. Right?
Yeah, I mean, but it is good to see, you know, representation, Black and brown faces in like the Star Wars universe. I don't think we should be getting press releases about it.
Yeah.
Right? Because that just seems like, hey, look, Negroes.
You know what? You want to make it up to me? Whatever this next trilogy is going to be, make sure you give Finn a substantial role. And I mean like main role, not no fucking sidekick shit like he was in the sequel trilogy. The only movie where I was just like, oh, he has a substantial arc was The Last Jedi. He got to fight and destroy a villain.
Right.
He went from being a coward to literally going to kill himself to save his friends. And, you know, that's about it. Like, yo, like...
he's pretty much non-existent in The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, and Force Awakens, like, y'all y'all teased us, like, you know, JJ too. He's like, yo, you're the star of Star Wars. And then all the press materials, it was him fighting Kylo Ren with the lightsaber.
Right.
You see him with the lightsaber fighting stormtroopers. And it's just like, man, another white person.
Right.
Y'all in this day and age, that makes y'all look terrible. And yeah, like, don't have him chase around this white girl anymore. Stop that shit.
And like the fans. Well, let's talk about the fans more than anything, because the creators is one thing, right? But they're beholden to this toxic fan base. That's why, like Rose was sidelined.
Yeah, bro, just the pat on the shoulder, like,
Right.
see you later. And you just see that
Yeah.
you see him run, like literally run, like she was gonna like rip his pants off.
Yeah. So, I mean, good on Disney for realizing that there are more people in the galaxy than white Skywalkers.
Well, bro, I don't know if you noticed, but right during COVID, the backlash against Rise of Skywalker was so bad, especially with how Finn was used. Kathleen Kennedy and John Boyega eventually started speaking up. He's like, guys, I feel your pain. I understand your pain. And, you know, I've come to my senses and you guys are all right and valid. And it was so bad. Kathleen Kennedy had to have a one-on-one private in-person meeting with John Boyega to discuss this shit. We don't know what happened in that meeting. We don't know
Right.
what was said, but like, y'all owe Finn a trilogy, bro. Now that we know he's force sensitive and he is a Jedi, yeah,
Right.
give him his own fucking trilogy, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah, give him his own trilogy. Do something with Rose. Like, let's start.
Yeah,
let's,
Kelly
let's
Marie
start
Tran. I feel bad for her.
Let's start celebrating, you know, the Brown fans out there, and they're making an effort.
Because the fact that everybody at Lucasfilm has been saying the key to Star Wars is Rey, I'm just like, good character. Daisy Ridley is amazing as Rey, but like Rise of Skywalker, honestly, she was just there half the time. Like she didn't inform any of the decisions that was being made, and she's the main fucking character.
And well, here's the thing with Rise of Skywalker: it's Nepo Baby the movie, like literally, all of that shit that was built up over The Force Awakens, and you know, The Last Jedi was just thrown out the window when you find out that Rey is the granddaughter of Palpatine.
Yeah, yo, I liked it better when she was a nobody because then that just made it special because that means anybody in this universe can be somebody. And that's the whole point of the end of The Last Jedi with that final shot of that little kid sweeping the stables. He drops the broom, looks up, and he uses the Force and grabs the broom. It's like, yeah, anybody can be somebody. And now that was just thrown entirely out the window. And
like you do the work to like get rid of the idea of midichlorians, right? And then you one up it by saying like, oh well, you know, well he's Ray's part of the bloodline.
Yo, and then just to have Snoke be a clone of Palpatine, I was like, bro, it was cooler when he was just a dude, just like the Emperor was a dude. Like in the original trilogy, the Emperor was just a dude. We ain't know shit about him. He was Emperor Palpatine. He ran the shit.
Yeah.
Same thing as Snoke. He was just, to me, a dude who was running the shit.
Yeah. You know.
And Kylo Ren should have been the main fucking villain instead of this quasi-ass redemption, half-baked redemption arc.
Yeah. I mean, that whole entire sequel trilogy was messy.
Yeah, bro. Just from Force Awakens too, because I remember JJ even saying like, "Yo, we need another year," and the people at Disney are like, "Yeah, no, you're not getting another year." And I'm just, and in hindsight, it was gonna make money either way. So who gives a fuck? I would rather it come out a year later than have it
be good.
Yeah, exactly, and give these motherfuckers time, bro.
Right. But
like the original screenwriter was fired because he was taking too long. And I'm just like, guys, this is, at that point, it was 45 years worth of history that you're trying to do an entire new trilogy on, and you fired somebody for saying they're taking too long on writing the script.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you want a generational classic. You want people to talk about it like they talk about Empire, right? Like, you can't rush the recipe. You really can't.
Yeah.
And I mean, God bless Skeleton Crew for being as good as it is, because it had the real potential to be a flaming pile of shit.
I'm gonna be real with you. Like, looking back now, I'm surprised Last Jedi got made. I'm surprised Rogue One came out as well as it did with all the shit that movie went through, and they had the balls to go through with what they did. Andor, the stuff they do in Andor, I'm like, oh, y'all are allowing this to happen
Right.
in a Star Wars show. Like the first episode starts off in a brothel.
Right. With a murder.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like, man.
Yeah. So yeah, let's celebrate Black fatherhood. I
in
guess
a more positive way.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not clapping right now.
Right. Like, I want to see Wendell's redemption arc.
Yeah. Because honestly, it's his fault. His kid got on the ship in the first place.
Right.
So,
you know.
All right, let's get into what have you watched lately.
What are you watching?
All right. We're gonna take it pretty easy this week for what you've been watching. On Hulu, there is a two-part comedy special by Ali Siddiq. I don't know if you know him as a comedian. He's the dude. He's a black comedian who actually spent like 10 years in jail for selling drugs.
Jesus.
Yeah. And it's along those same lines. And I love sort of Nathaniel or what was Chris Rock's last special, where it's more autobiographical than just telling straight up jokes. And it's actually pretty fucking amazing, right? I mean, I love when comedians get into what made them comedians, their Batman stories. And so this is like a two-part series, two-part special. It's called The Domino Effect. If you have Hulu, it's worth checking out. It's absolutely hilarious. I really have nothing more to say about that. Good stand-up comedy is good stand-up comedy. Moving on from that, that's it for TV for now, because we still have to catch up on a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of stuff is dropping today, actually. Right?
I still got screeners to catch up on, even though I already voted for one of my organizations.
Right.
Which I'll get into in my watches, because shit's wild.
So we're moving on into movies. I finally saw Megalopolis, and I don't know what to say. I like it because I know Francis Ford Coppola loved it, right? He loved his idea so much, but it's dumb. When I say it's dumb, is that it feels like it feels like poli-sci 101, right? There are some grand ideas, but they're executed so broadly that it seems like it's trying too hard. I mean, the whole entire movie is trying too hard, but I kind of really like it because it's weird. It's totally the product of its creator. And it's everything that he wanted to say, just it's not told very well, but it's told interestingly enough, where if you just sort of don't try to make that much sense of it, you can have a good time.
I mean, the shit makes sense. It's just sloppily put together. It's not a good movie, but I love it.
It's like surface level makes sense, right? Like it's the comparison to the downfall of Rome. yada yada yada. All these different concepts just thrown together in a gumbo. And yeah, like I said, it's poli sci 101. It looked like everybody involved was totally drank the flavor aid. They were invested in it, and that kind of made me invested in it. But I cannot recommend this movie to someone who is not a cinephile. Right? This is not a I have nothing better to do on a Friday night movie.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm glad I finally watched it. I don't think I needed to watch it on the big screen.
Oh yeah, you definitely did with a crowd. Oh man, that movie plays good with a crowd.
With a crowd, yeah, I get it. With a crowd, but like beyond that, yeah. Moving on from that, I saw Gladiator 2 again.
So did I.
It is it's not a bad movie. It's not a horrible movie, but you can see what everyone was talking about.
Like the directing choices and this, especially the script. Like, David Scarpa. Somebody has to explain to me why Ridley likes David Scarpa, because that script. Anyone coming out of Gladiator 2 saying it's better than Gladiator 1, I'm like, bro, you put down the crystal meth.
Right, you don't know movies, right?
Like it's
an enjoy. Like it's the best episode of Spartacus that you'll ever see. That show on Stars. It's the best episode of that.
I wouldn't degrade it that much, bro. I wouldn't. That it is better than Spartacus. Any part of Spartacus.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it's just, it is compared to the original. It's not nearly the.
Yeah, it's a step down. It's like a huge step down.
And like even watching it, I noticed the editing. The editing is choppy and blocky. There's no nuance in this.
That's Ridley Scott's editing, though. It is choppy. Like all of his movies are choppy like that.
Yeah, but like there's no nuance throughout this whole entire thing. Denzel Washington really does float this movie.
Yeah. Like, I'm telling you, man, Gladiator 3, I do want to see Gladiator 3, but bro, I get somebody else to write it, dude. Like, do not have David Scarpa come back. This is two movies in a row written by this dude from the same filmmaker, and I'm just like, all right, Ridley, I know you have a good movie in you. Stop using this dude's scripts. This dude sucks as a writer. I'm sorry, he does.
Yeah, you don't need to apologize. He's not good. It's like it's not written very well. It's indicative of what we've gotten for 2024, right? Like it's an okay enough movie because everything else that's surrounding it has been kind of shitty. Like there's been some highlights, there's been some like stellar movies, but for the most part, this is par for the course for this year.
Yo, bro, for this shit to end up on a top 10 list too.
Yeah, I don't know how this ends up on any top. Like this is the top 10 movie this year with gladiators in it, right?
Like the only thing that should be winning awards for this is Denzel for best supporting actor, and that's about it.
That's it, right? Like even the CGI is, I mean, it's not bad, but
the baboons are terrible, bro. The baboons are terrible. Like I'm sorry, those shit suck.
The rhino was cool, but like we are at a point in time with this technology where I shouldn't be able to tell if it's CGI.
Yo, I'm saying, man, like we shouldn't have giant 9-foot tall, skinny ass blue people look photorealistic to the point where I'm like, these motherfuckers have pores and are emoting to the point where I'm crying. And you're trying to tell me you can't make a baboon look realistic?
Yeah. Yeah, so Gladiator 2, if you can't get a ticket for anything else, and if you just really want to watch some just OD over the top violence, yeah, that's fine. But this is it's competent, right? I didn't hate it, but it's you're not going to be talking about this 20 years later like you were the original Gladiator.
Yeah, look, All I'm going to say is this is part of a bigger story, and I really do hope Gladiator 3 gets made so that way we're paid off and we can see the full fucking scope of this shit.
Right.
So that way, in retrospect, we could be like, okay, this was a stepping stone to a better movie.
Right. All right, moving on from that, watch this Watchmen Chapter 2, which is, the animated rendition of the second part of the Watchmen story. I mean, I love Watchmen, right? Like, I love the story. I love the comic book. I love the sequel TV show. So yeah, I like this, but there's nothing new or groundbreaking about Chapter 2, right? It is exactly how it plays out in the comic book. Like, no changes, no updates. It literally is just the comic book with some high caliber voice acting. So take it as you will. It's not horrible, but it's not great, right? It just exists. Yeah, like if you don't feel like reading the comic book or watching Zack Snyder's version, then you have Watchmen chapters 1 and 2. That's all I got for you. Moving on from that, we're gonna end on a movie I just randomly came across on Amazon. It's from 2008. It's called Real Time. And it stars Jay Baruchel. I can't never pronounce this motherfucker's name. Baruchel. And Randy Quaid. And it's another one of those movies where a criminal shows an everyday dude the follies in his life by going on some sort of spree. So in this one, Jay Baruchel plays a degenerate gambler who owes $65,000 to a mob boss, and Randy Quaid plays the hitman hired to pull it out, and he spends the whole entire movie showing him the ills of his ways and yada 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 yada. It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely early 2000s, or I guess mid 2000s. Randy Quaid, for some reason, has an Australian accent, even though this looks like it takes place in Canada or Ohio, because they don't really tell you what state or country they're in. So, and the accent is just really, really not disturbing, just out of place, considering that everyone is speaking with either a Midwest or just non-determinate accent. It is absolutely just a fine movie. I can't recommend it unless you are really looking for something, you're really hard up for something to watch, because it's Jay Baruchel going through the whole entire movie whining about all the shit that went wrong in his life and why he's a piece of shit, and then Randy Quaid making him own up to it. It's fucking a scumbag version of It's a Wonderful Life. That's absolutely just fine, but it was free on Amazon Prime. So, and then I guess, do you want to jump in and do a joint for the newest, or episode 2 of Dune?
Yeah, episode 2, while it still has its problems, miles better than the first episode.
Yeah, I'll give you that. The first episode was just so lackluster and draining to me,
and choppy.
Like the time jumps, the time jumps in episode 1 was straight up out of House of the Dragon, which I didn't like that shit either. So because the first episode was so just draining, right? All the lore and everything that you had to know and pay attention to, that even though the second episode was better, is still, I'm not looking forward to this show like I should. This is not appointment watching.
episode 3 is fucking. There's some moments in episode 3 I'm like, oh no, this is fucking hard. But again, episode 3 does feel like 2 episodes rolled into one, just like this one. Like these all feel like they're multiple episodes in one.
And like I miss the day where a show would get 16 to 18 episodes where they could actually tell a story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, this needed to be 12, at least 12 episodes.
This feels like watching this feels like I'm cramming for an exam.
Yeah, you're reading the Spark Notes and you're missing context out of the story because you're doing the shortcut way.
Yeah. So episode 2, like I said, better than episode 1. I still have to get to episode 3. You say it's better. I'm gonna get around to it before the end of the weekend, before our next episode. But like and especially going from Penguin to this, right? But it's just ugh.
Well, the way I look at it is only 3 episodes left.
Oh, it's only 6 episodes?
Yes, that's part of the fucking problem.
Oh, I thought it was 8 episodes.
No,
it's
only 6.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, this needed to be at least 10 episodes.
Yeah, so it's half over.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
No. Like, I shouldn't be this on the fence for a show that's almost done its run. Season 1.
And episode 3 is really when the show finally feels like it's getting started. And I'm like, bro, we're halfway through this. And
right. Yeah. So meanwhile, last week, did we talk about last week's episode?
No, we didn't. Day of the Jackal.
Yo! It's already been renewed for a second season.
Which is wild that it's been renewed, because I thought this was just going to be a miniseries, because the novel the novel's been adapted twice. So the fact that they're going to mine this for another one, I'm like, all right, don't fuck it up.
Just keep it good. Keep it good. Yeah, things are getting complicated now. Because we can't ruin anything for you guys if you haven't watched it. But episode 7 is shit's going sideways, horribly so. Everybody's fucking up.
Yeah, man. I was just like, bro, when they did the drive-by on the MI6 headquarters, I was just like, y'all really thought you were gonna get away with that?
Right.
Like, these are all
right.
Like, those are government tratrained killers, bro. Y'all are just the hit squad.
And they were so obvious about it, right? They might as well started like shooting around the block and just rounded the corner. That's how obvious they were about it.
Yo, man. Like, and I thought Chuck is the black dude from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Peacemaker. I thought Chuck was like had some ulterior motives because he's acting a little shifty. But then after the shootout, I was like, oh no, this motherfucker he's on our side.
Right, but like he's just keeping it close to the vest because we still don't know who the mole is.
Yeah. You
know.
Well, it could still be him or the white lady.
Yeah. So we don't know who to trust in this. Even the main cabal of bad guys are fucking up. Yeah,
bro. And how about this motherfucker's family? Like, bro, y'all saw the guns. Y'all saw that he had molds, a bust of his head, where I'm like, this motherfucker might be doing masks, multiple passports, money from every country in the world just stashed, and you're gonna be like, yeah, go ahead, take 40,000, you could pay him back. And then while your back's turned, this motherfucker steals a gun. And I'm just like, that's honestly, this is life advice for our listeners. Never take a gun from anybody. From anybody. Just go through the legal channels and purchase that shit legally, bro.
Like if you either take or given a gun from somebody, just assume that it's got a body on it.
Yeah,
or
bro.
Several bodies on it.
Because when that gun comes up as evidence, whoever gave it to you is going to be in the wind.
Right. Right. And like the audacity of not only like are you going to borrow this motherfucker's 40 grand to buy into this bar, which that just seems like a low entry point number for
Yo, I
investing in a bar.
guarantee. You know what he's gonna do
He's
when
gonna
he
get
finds
scammed.
out? Oh no, I think homie's gonna burn that bar down for the insurance money
Oh, yeah.
with him
Maybe.
inside.
No, probably. I mean, probably. Right. But not only are you going to like borrow 40 grand from this dude, then you're going to steal his gun. Right. Like, come on.
Listen, I get it. I get where the girl's coming from because that's her mother and her brother. But there's also advice that I get from my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I'm not doing that.
Right.
She should have just been like, yo, Mom, that's stupid. I'm not doing that. Did you not see the guns? She literally helped this nigga escape the country by pretending he's an old man. She wheeled him on the plane as a like, yo, this dude's like, how does she not figure out this dude's a criminal mastermind when he perfectly put on a mask and makeup to make himself look old?
Right. And like the fact that she doesn't realize that there's a camera in this room that was hidden in the closet
behind a vault door.
Behind a vault door with like a secured keypad. You don't think he like had some pressure sensitive shit, like some cameras, something, motion detectors? Yeah.
We already seen what he did to somebody who didn't have a gun, right? And planted the gun on him, just like, hey, catch. Pow, pow. Like, come on, man. If he gets stopped by the police, first thing they're gonna ask, why do you have this much money in cash?
Right.
Like, let's say, like, if it was a cashier's check or some bearer bonds, maybe they'll be like, yeah, maybe he's doing some business shit. But cash, come on. And then the gun,
yeah.
Like, first thing they're
over.
gonna be like, so who you selling to? What drugs you have?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Be fucking smart.
So that is not going to that whole entire storyline is not going to end well, and I cannot wait for it.
And she's gonna blame him, and I'm like, but I'd be like, did I tell you to break into my shit?
Right, you set him up for failure. You set your brother up to die.
Yo, I'm
you
saying,
really
man,
did.
like.
So Day of the Jackal, episode 7. I love this show. This show makes having Peacock worth it for me.
Yeah, shout out to the Black Friday deal. I got y'all again. Also, their Black Friday deal made no sense this year. $20 for a full year or $1.99 for 6 months, and then you got to pay full price after the 6 months.
I don't.
I'm like, yo, who's gonna choose the 6 months for $1.99, bro?
I mean, look, sometimes you ain't got $20 on you. Sometimes you ain't got $20 on you.
Nah, listen. You know somebody who's gonna let you hold $20, bro. Like, and also fuck you, Paramount, for your Black Friday deal.
Was it with $3.99 for 3 months or some bullshit like
that?
$2.99
$2.99 for 2 months.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I signed up for it because I'm like, yo, fuck it. I'll use it and watch what I gotta watch. But
right.
There's a reason why I canceled y'all in the first place.
Yeah, like. Every year, I think everyone should do a purge of all of these fucking things because it's getting ridiculous at this point.
I don't know how Paramount Plus is going to survive, to be honest with you, because the deals that they are offering on top of how much it normally costs, on top of what the content they release, I'm like, bro, at this point in time, Peacock has y'all.
Yeah.
And think about it, Peacock is the butt of the joke in the industry.
Like, the only thing that honestly is keeping Paramount Plus afloat is all that Tyler Sheridan shit.
And Showtime, right?
I don't even know Showtime, but all that Tyler Sheridan shit and all that CBS shit.
Yeah, true. But
like,
half that CBS shit is on Hulu as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So there you go. So,
like, the only good thing about me now having Paramount Plus for 2 months is I could finally finish Evil.
Okay. Well, I thought that moved to Netflix. I thought
the show, it's on both. So okay. I think season 4 isn't on Netflix, but the first 3 seasons are.
Gotcha.
But I know they said like it's been doing well on Netflix, and Netflix is like, we may steal it.
Look, they did- look. People forget that Netflix saved Breaking Bad, so I wouldn't be surprised if it saved Evil.
Yeah. You know, but The Good Wife is on its now second spinoff because I didn't realize that Elsbeth show is a fucking spinoff.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I read an IMDb like review for it. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, because
I still haven't.
I've seen
I
the
haven't seen Evil.
advertisements for it and I've seen the commercials. I'm like, why would anybody watch this shit? Like, I love Carrie Preston, but like, yo, come on, you're playing a doofus. And then I Googled it and I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, there
And
it is.
she's not doofus. She's just like autistic and weird. But like, I saw one episode. It was okay. Like, I could see why it would be successful.
Man, Paramount just getting rid of all their signature shows. CSI's gone, Evil's gone. Like, yo, listen, Tyler Sheridan can only carry you so much, bro.
All right, I still have to watch his new show Dirt Man, Oil Man.
yeah, Oil Man or Land
what-
Man.
Land
Man.
Yeah, Land Man. There you go.
I'll give Linus a shot, but that's it.
Yeah, I hear Linus is good. Is that Tyler Sheridan too?
Yeah.
God damn. Just call it Just rename it Sheridan Plus.
Yeah, at this point, like, and I guess I'll catch up on the first few episodes of the new season of what's it called?
Yellowstone.
Yeah, where I've heard how they got rid of what's my man's name?
Fucking
Kevin Costner.
Right,
and I was like,
yeah.
damn, that is so unceremonious.
How does it happen? How do they kill him?
He's assassinated
Ooh.
off screen by a hit squad. It's like 3 dudes break onto the ranch and somehow kill him. I'm like, after all the shit this motherfucker survived over the past 4.5 seasons, that is the worst way and most unbelievable way for him to go.
Look, Kevin Costner did to himself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Did to himself.
Yeah, it is true. A lot of fans are like, it was disrespectful. I'm like,
I was like, he
well,
he jumped ship. Like,
I
what do you
mean,
want to do?
He wanted to do Horizon.
Right? Like,
Yo, shout out to Horizon Part 2. Still has no release date. Screened only once at the Venice Film Festival. And still has no release date.
Yeah, you'll see that at the end of 2025.
Yo, January looking a little slow, so perfect time. Drop. Give him a 1 week, like throw him a bone and put it in theaters for a week.
Just so it can have it can be in awards contention.
Nah. Anyways,
all right, what have you been watching, man?
So I'm gonna be very quick about this. Let me start off. I got a screener link. I was like, oh, y'all didn't want to give me a screening of this, like a proper screening, but you gave me a screener link for Here. Robert Zemeckis is Here. This could have been excellent. It's the execution and the story itself. I'm like, y'all, it's told out of order, so it'll keep jumping back and forth in time. So like, we'll be hanging out with the Native Americans, and then it'll cut to like the dude who created the Lazy Boy and his wife, and then it'll cut to Tom Hanks and Robin Wright, and then it'll jump back a little backwards in time where his dad, played by Paul Bettany, and his mom, played by Kelly Riley, are like having marital problems. And then it'll jump forward in time to after Tom Hanks sells the house and there's a black family that lives there. And the whole shit with the black family, I'm like, bro, you could have cut this out. I appreciate seeing the black family, but like the only good part about the black family is when they have the talk. Because I was like, oh yeah, I like in this day and age, every black family is gonna have that talk. Like, yo, just keep your hands on 10 and 12, give them whatever you want, and then just say thank you, officer, and go on your way. And then you come home and we cry about it and we talk about it and help you through. We want you alive than dead. And I'm like, yeah. Shout out to Robert Zemeckis for understanding that. But everything else in this, I'm just like, damn, bro. Like they touch upon COVID, they touch upon dementia, and I'm just like, yo, y'all are doing too much to elicit emotion and tears, and it is not.
What's the connective besides the house? What is the like? Does it run through themes like the back and forth? Are they motivated or is it just like
sometimes like I know for when Robin Wright and Tom Hanks start getting busy on the couch, it cuts to the Native Americans getting busy and they fall in love, and then it'll connect to the dude in the lazy boy and his wife getting it on in the lazy boy chair. So it connects like that. It'll jump back and forth like that. And they do it through like graphic novel transitions. So like a panel will come up and then it'll take over the screen or it'll transition into that scene. The Benjamin Franklin shit really pissed me off. I'm like, why the fuck is this shit even?
I'm sorry, Benjamin Franklin is in this motherfucker?
Oh yeah, him and his son. And his son is just like, he's a doofus, he suck, he's an idiot. Nobody's going to remember the name Benjamin Franklin because apparently, through dialogue, we're told this takes place in Philadelphia.
Sure.
And the camera only moves at the very end of the movie. Where it swoops around our characters and then pulls out outside of the house and you see the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, I had no interest in seeing this movie to begin with, and now hearing you just describe it, it's like
you're not missing anything. Honestly, you're not missing anything. I'm like, yo, like most of Robert Zemeckis' movies from the past 25 years, it feels like a technical exercise. Somebody said it best. He was the best at pushing technology forward while still giving you an entertaining story that you emotionally resonated with, you know? Mm-hmm. Like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like Back to the Future, like Castaway, where they're pushing the boundaries of cinema, but it's still like even Forrest Gump to an extent, even though I don't think Forrest Gump has held up over the passage of time. But you get what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, I get it. 100%.
Yeah. Like everything he's done since What Lies Beneath has felt like a technical exercise, honestly. Like the only two times he tried to make a real movie kind of fell flat on his face still was Allied and Flight.
Yeah.
And that's because those scripts are terrible.
Yeah, and we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I had just recently seen Flight, and I was like, all right, yeah, well, I've seen it now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I have some bad memories from Flight because I went to a guild screening of that, and the only person who was nice on that panel was Robert Zemeckis.
Who was on the panel?
Robert Zemeckis, John Goodman, Denzel, and Melissa Leo.
Oh, they were all assholes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Denzel, the biggest of them all, but then come to find out, that's because he was still drinking at that time.
Right,
like his behavior, we still talk about that shit today during that Q&A. That shit was wild, where we're just like, bro, he was out of control. Like that shit was just wild. And then come to find out, that motherfucker was like drinking hardcore then.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So here, when it hits your favorite streaming service and you're bored, yeah, sure, put it on. And then you forget about it.
Just to say you saw it, you know?
Moving on. This was a movie I wanted to see and never got a screener or screening for. Came out in 2022, August 2022, fall. It's about them two white chicks that get stuck on the tower because they climb it. Because it's on Peacock.
I've had a copy of that for years. It's just like, oh, one of these days I'm going to watch it.
Yo, son, they needed $10 million for some of this movie because there's some effects where I'm just like, ooh. Ooh. Also, the hot chick from the Shazam movies is the main character.
Which hot chick?
There's only one hot chick.
I mean, I can't remember what she looks like. That's how much.
The oldest sister who looks like she needs to be. I don't know why she's still living in that foster home where she's like, oh, girl, you should have your own family by now. Anyways, she's in an interracial relationship with Mason Gooding. Mason Gooding is the black dude from Y2K and Scream 5 and 6.
Oh, the pretty motherfucker.
Yeah. Bro, at the beginning of the movie, when they kiss, it cuts to 5 different angles, so you can't even see them kiss.
They didn't have the money for that. They didn't have the money for full.
I was like,
all-live
either that or
content.
some racism shit. But yeah, bro, like this movie, the entire time watching it, I was just like, yo, like, I was wait. It got to a point where I was just like, let's wrap this up, bro. Like, this is a movie where it should have been like an hour and 20 minutes. Like, I don't mind an 80-minute movie. Like, this
Right,
should have been
right.
80 fucking minutes. And the fact that this is getting 2 sequels,
I'm sorry, what?
yeah, it's getting 2 sequels. So one, the dude who wrote and directed this one is producing the second one because some other dude's writing, producing the second one, and now he's working on the third one. So they're making 2 different movies concurrently.
What's like? How do you?
Yo, that's what I'm saying. And there's going to be characters from this one that's going to pop up in both 2 and 3, and I'm like, why and how?
We're still talking about the same movie where the 2 white chicks are stuck on the tower, right?
Yes.
I mean, like how do you make a sequel? They get off the tower, right? Like, or they don't. Like, that's,
shout out to Lionsgate, baby.
Like, how does that get a sequel? Like,
yo, listen,
like
I got an email today from Lionsgate being like, hey, tomorrow night we're premiering some new stuff from Ballerina at
I got
CCXP.
I got that text. It's like, what the fuck's CCXP?
It's like one of the biggest cons in the world in Brazil.
Okay.
Like, a lot of shit comes from there. Yeah. I was just like, yo, listen, Lionsgate, like, y'all had a bad year, and like, I'm glad this was a hit for you. Truly, I am. But this is not a good movie, and y'all will just franchise anything, huh? Like, we could make a movie like Jeff. We could make an IMAX movie of me taking a shit for 2 hours, and they'll be like, so Brandon, get that laxative ready because we're doing 4 more.
Oh shit!
Lionsgate.
It's burning money.
Yeah. Fall. I don't know. Watch it. I guess watch it. I'm like here where I'm like, yeah, watch it if it's on streaming. This I'm like, if you want. Like, I can't even fully recommend you watch it. I'm like, yeah, if you want.
Yeah, it's on. It's on.
If you're bored and drunk, I guess sure. I mean, I guess the only positive thing to say is the 2 lead actresses are good and they're very pretty. So that's all I got.
Sure. All right. They're very pretty. That's the okay. Wow.
And
right.
yo, dog, there's a reveal in this movie, and I was just like, yo, word. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, you're too good for this shit, man.
He's good. He's too good for a lot of shit, man. Like, whatever. Like, talk to his manager. Like, we gotta have a conversation with whoever's getting him work.
Yo, all right, let's move on. I'm gonna move on to the last thing I'm gonna talk about, which is Music Box: Yacht Rock: A documentary, and doc is spelled D-O-C-K in capital letters, and humentary is all in lower level. Yeah, I fucking love this documentary. Now I've been listening to nothing but Yacht Rock the whole fucking the whole week since I've been watching this. Steely Dan, y'all are foul. Like, y'all are real foul. You remember Peter Guns and Tariq and Lord Tariq?
Yeah.
They had that fucking banging ass song in 1998.
Yeah.
Uptown, baby.
Right.
Like, that shit, that shit was hard. Yeah, they sampled Steely Dan off of that, and because they didn't clear the sample, Steely Dan's like, yo, listen, you guys had to clear this with us. And they're like, all right, well, like, what do we want to do? They're like, yeah, you can't have this song out unless we get all the royalties from it, and you'd say that we wrote this song.
Come on.
Yeah,
right?
So they don't make any money off that song. That's their biggest hit, and they make no money. That all goes to Steely Dan. Mind you, Kanye and De La Soul have sampled Steely Dan, and they make money off of it. Peter Guns and Lord Tariq don't make money off their song.
Yo, that's
foul. Just because they didn't fucking clear it with them first.
Yeah, and like, yeah, okay, they should have cleared it, but also cut them a break, right?
Yeah, man. Like, yo, the thing about this documentary I love is, like, every single person who has made yacht rock has straight up said, like, yeah, we cribbed most of this from R&B music. Like, we listen to nothing but R&B and soul music. Like, like, Michael McDonald's like when they ask him straight up, they're like, how do you feel about like hip hop and like rappers like sampling your stuff? He's like, oh, I love it. He's just like, we stole from black people. I was on Soul Train performing songs that were inspired by the music I clearly was like listening to. So the fact that like it's inspiring a whole nother genre, and not only that, I get fucking paid for it. And now there's people who are openly trying to collaborate with me. Like, he gets into his collaborations with Thundercat, because Thundercat worked with Michael McDonald. He's like, this is he's like, what more could I ask for? He's like, yeah, I get made fun of a lot, but like, people love the music and I'm still getting paid. So I'm looking at it as it's flattery, man. I'm not even mad.
I didn't know Michael McDonald was white until I was 18.
Right. Or Bobby Caldwell.
Right.
What you do for love.
Yo.
I was like, damn, that's one of the black. And then you see, I was like, this white motherfucker.
I saw the video like 5 years ago, and my brain really literally blew out the back of my head. And it's like, wait, he's white?
Yo, listen, this documentary made me appreciate sailing. Because I've heard that song, and I'm just like, I never thought much of it. Right? And then they gets into the song itself, and I really sit down and listen to it. I'm like, yo, those guitar chords are hard though. That no.
I like non-ironically, I love yacht rock. I love the genre of yacht rock.
Yeah. It is palatable black music for white people. That's why you love it, because it's black music just made for white. It's like the Talking Heads. Like the Talking Heads is basically like rock done through gospel and R&B for white people. That's why Talking Heads rule, because a lot of that shit we listen to anyway. I mean, when the Talking Heads expanded their band, who did they fill out their band with? It was nothing but black people. Mm-hmm. Alex Weir as a guitarist, Bernie Warhol from Parliament Funkadelic, Lynn and Mabel, the two best backup singers ever to ever do it. Like,
yeah.
So like, yeah, fuck y'all, yo, Steely Dan, that shit still makes my blood boil. But like, bro, I love Christopher Cross. That nigga's just sitting there. They're like, yeah, everybody keeps asking me about sailing and how I come up with such a beautiful song. I'm like, bro, I was just driving. I heard the chords in my head. Went home, recorded the chords. I was like, oh, that was good. And I just tried to think of something that would match the chords. And I just thought, the one time I was truly happy in my life was when I was on a boat with my friend and we just went sailing, and we spent the whole day just sailing on a boat. So I just came up. He's like, people think I'm like, this is some deep type of shit. He's like, it's not that deep. He's like, bitch, it took me a course of a day to make this song. I was like, shout out to Christopher Cross.
Good for him.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I love how non-precious most of these people are. They're just like, yeah, nigga, we just came up with this shit on the fly.
Like, we were just making music.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we just came up with the shit. Yeah. There's like no legend behind it. Like, they interview one person, I think, from the Doobie Brothers or Steely Dan over the phone.
Right. And
because they were calling it yacht rock, he got pissed off and hung up on them. He said, like, fuck you, and hung up. Like, that's in the movie.
Wow. Look.
I'm like, bro, like, relax. Oh, that's like Little John getting mad at people when they're like, so like, yeah, crunk music, it's hip hop.
It's like, it's but it's a subgenre. Like, deal with it.
Yeah, you don't know how. Yo, listen, I want y'all to understand the early to mid 2000s was a dark time for music, because all we had was reggaeton, crunk, which almost killed hip hop. Honestly, let's keep it funky. It was, and then emo music. That was a dark time from the early 2000s to like 2005, 2006.
Oh, that's whatever happened to Sean Paul?
Oh, yo, listen, he's Daddy Yankee. Where's he been? Remember him?
Yeah.
Rumpay. Like, what happened to all those? Like, where's The Devil Wears Prada? Where's Hawthorne Heights? You know what I mean? The only emo band that's still around that people care about is Fall Out Boy and My Chemical Romance, and that's it. Remember all the tight jeans and the
swoop?
wave the hair, the cowlick hair across the face.
Oh,
you're stepping on my foot. I'm so mad. Why won't you call me? Like, that shit sucked. Yeah, but Yacht Rock, I highly recommend this doc. We're streaming right now on HBO Max.
Cool. I'll check it out.
Hell yeah, had me listening to Asia all fucking week. And Michael McDonald. That album's hard, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, that album's fucking hard. Asia's hard, bro. But yeah, fuck you, Steely Dan.
There you go. Fuck you, Steely Dan.
All right, let's get into our main review. Haha, psych. I remembered something.
All right.
On the Criterion channel, they have a whole channel called Deja Vu, and I was just like, "Oh, this is my shit." You know what the problem is?
What? What's the problem?
I've seen almost all of them. So, like, on there, they got hold on, let me pull it up now. Like, I watched Legit, but before I get into Legit, 28 minutes, and I've always been meaning to watch that, and I was just like, damn, bro. Deja Vu, this is the movies that are on Deja Vu. 12 Monkeys, Memento, Vertigo, Donnie Darko, Run Lola Run, Mind Game, which I haven't seen. I'm gonna watch that. The Beast, which came out this year, that I've been wanting to see. I finally get to see The Beast. A movie called Blind Chance, and another one that I've been talking about that you should be watching, and it makes me mad you still haven't seen it yet, pissing me off, fuck off, Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, I've seen most of those.
Yeah, so fucking watch Mulholland Drive before I smack the shit out you next time I see you.
You talking to me?
Hell yeah, nigga. I'll fucking smack the shit out you, bro.
It's very, very, very aggressive.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna rewatch. Also, because the channel, the name of this channel is Deja Vu with a question mark. So of course they had to put Tony Scott's 2005 classic Deja Vu up on here. I gotta watch it again. I'm saving that for this weekend.
I love that.
I haven't seen it in a minute, and I just remember being like, "Oh, that movie was dumb as fuck." So I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, it was dumb as fuck, but it was so much fun.
Here's my question: why the fuck isn't The Matrix on here?
I guess they're saving that for Cyberpunk, tactically.
They already did a Cyberpunk channel.
I'll tell you.
All right. Anyways, oh yeah, they should have put Dark City up on this bitch too.
Yeah.
Anyways, Legit, 28 minutes. I did not realize 12 Monkeys was based off this shit. This movie is all voiceover. It's a French short film, all in voiceover, and it's just pictures. So it tells a story through still images. And I ain't gonna lie, the bad guys in this movie, the way they're photographed, I'm like, that's fucking terrifying. Like, I was watching it last night, I was like, yo, these faces are terrifying. Very effective, very, very gripping. For 28 minutes, I'm like, damn, I kind of wish this was like a full-length feature. I would watch a full-length feature of a voiceover telling the story over just images.
Right.
And it's very experimental in style. Like, I can see how this inspired 12 Monkeys and so many other movies. Like, I'm gonna watch this shit again. Only 28 minutes. And also this has its own standalone Criterion release, and I'm like, Criterion, y'all out of your mind. Y'all asking people to pay $30 for a 28 minute short. Right. I don't care how many special features is on this motherfucker. Like, y'all better discount that bitch to $20. But yeah, Legit. Highly recommend. Fucking trippy ass French short film. Also, speaking of Mulholland Drive, every once in a while I like to treat myself, which is find somebody who hasn't watched Mulholland Drive. And I like to eat an edible and watch them watch Mulholland Drive for the first time. It's a treat. It's a treat like when you get a kiss on your head once, your girl's done. That fine after the last swallow, you get that quick kiss on the tip. That's what it is for me. Watching Mulholland Drive High with people who've never seen it before.
That is a descriptor right there. That is a descriptor.
And then people turn to me with tears of terror in my eyes. Brandon, what was that? And I explain it to them. They're like, holy shit, it's a masterpiece. I'm like, yeah, nigga. Yeah. All right, so now for real, let's get into the main review. For realsy.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blurbs feature film review.
Let's get into Night Bitch. First off, shout out to thick Amy Adams. She's real thick in this. A black comedy. I think I like this movie. Is it great? No, but it's a perfectly fine black comedy about motherhood and like the shit stay-at-home moms have to deal with on a constant basis. I'm watching this movie. I'm like, damn, man, I'm so glad I'm single and don't have kids.
So what's the premise? What's the elevator pitch?
Amy Adams is a former artist who gave up her art career to be a stay-at-home mom. Scoot McNairy is her husband. He's always gone on work business trips, and when he does show up, this nigga's like, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. And I'm like, man, just fucking grab a hot towel, man. She's like, God damn. Yeah, she's starting to lose her grip on reality, and she starts transforming into a dog at night. Okay. So she's literally a night bitch.
That sounds hilarious.
One part of this movie that had me dying is the suburban moms at story time, where her kids start saying fuck and everybody's like, what? And she's like, I'm sorry. And the moms come up, they're like, hey, we heard you're an artist. And they start talking to her. She's like, I gotta go. And she just scoops up her kid and takes her kid under her arm and just runs out. And the way she runs out with her kid under her arm, it reminds me of the one episode of the Snoopy show on Apple Plus where Snoopy was doing all types of flagrant shit. And Charlie Brown just picks him up and runs down the street with him. That's what that shit reminded me. And as she's running away, all the moms are looking at each other like, I really like her. I was just like, that was the most bizarre interaction y'all had with her. I was like, I really like her. But yeah, the character arcs in this motherfucker are really good. And you know what? It's only an hour and a half.
Even better.
Yeah,
perfect.
That's what I'm saying. It does not outstay its welcome. Gets its point across, even though the point may be a little heavy-handed or too on the nose for some people, but it works for me because it's so short and entertaining. And that's all I got.
Okay.
Night Bitch. Goes down easy. Only thing it's rated R for is the title and the swearing. And that's it. Oh, yeah, and the sex scene. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, goes down easy. Nice and easy. Like if I went to the city to see this, I might be like, maybe that wasn't worth the trip to the city. But, you know, watching it on my laptop at home, yeah.
It's perfectly acceptable.
If it's playing near you and you have a subscription like AMC A-List or Regal Unlimited, definitely check it out. Because you could do worse. It opens in limited release tomorrow. Super limited. Anyways, now let's get into Y2K.
I wanted to really, really like this movie more than I did as someone who was, 20 years old or 19 during Y2K. Like all of the nostalgia bits hit extra hard, and I was like, oh shit, I remember that candy colored fucking iMac. I remember
this was all accurate as it was portraying the time, like everything from the music to the clothes to just the attitude, like the way they talk. I was like, yeah, that's how everybody talked.
Right.
Problem with this movie is the jokes lean so hard on the nostalgia and the callback. So like I can only imagine if you're like 16, 17 going to see this movie, you're going to be like, oh okay.
Right.
Sure.
This movie's not for anyone under the age of 35.
Oh
right?
no, I would say 30.
30. Like if you're below 30, this movie's not for you because you have no frame of reference.
If you were born after 1995, all this shit's gonna go over your head.
Right. Yeah. And it's just not. Two things. It's not funny, right? Like, but also it doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah, because the horror is not good either.
Right. Like it stops being a horror film really after the party massacre.
And not for nothing, I don't know if Rachel Zegler is a good actress.
I mean, she's fine. I didn't notice her acting. I don't.
Yeah, but besides West Side Story, I can't think of anything else she's been in that I was like, oh, she was phenomenal.
Right. I mean, she was absolutely fine in this. This movie wanted to be, what's the fucking
Faculty?
It wanted to be The Faculty meets This Is the End.
Yeah,
right?
and here's the thing: This Is the End. It's funny because we all know those people, and we know their public personalities, and we see how they handle themselves in public. So to see them portray themselves that way made it funnier.
Right. But this, it's I love an end of the world comedy, but I didn't really care about any of these characters.
Yeah, you fucked up when your best characters are played by Tim Heidecker and Alicia Silverstone
and Fred Durst.
Yeah.
Like Fred Durst. Like I never thought in my entire life that I would say Fred Durst was the best part of anything.
Right.
Yeah, this is the Fred Durst. Right. Yeah.
And this movie is only like an hour and a half, and it feels much longer.
It feels much longer. Like the jokes are not. The jokes don't land, and I really like Kyle Mooney. Honestly,
I do too.
It would have been better if he was the star.
Yeah,
right? He wrote and directed this. I would have liked to have seen a character played by Kyle Mooney, not the character he played, but the character, but a Kyle Mooney-esque character navigating this world. That would have been more interesting to me.
Yeah, because the whole love story is so contrived because we've seen that shit so many times.
Right. And the Q&A, he summed it up like, I wanted to make a movie that you would rent on a Friday night. I was like, yeah, this is at a Blockbuster or whatever your local video store is. Like, yeah, this is definitely a movie that you would rent because they had run out of the movie you wanted.
Right. And because
and you're already here. You're already in the store.
Yeah, bro.
Right.
It's like the time I waited at Blockbuster for 2 hours for somebody to return a DVD copy of Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Right.
Or that time where Scream 3 came out on VHS, and I remember a chick who was clearly graduating high school was so happy that her and her friends could finally rent Scream 3.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, it's like it's a Friday night movie, but it's the sloppy seconds, it's the B team of your Friday night DVD watching.
Yeah, you wait for HBO Max for this, honestly.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I can't.
Don't go out your way unless you're really itching to see a movie, which you shouldn't be because there's plenty playing and Lord of the Rings opens next week. So shit, man. Even I'll be, you know what, if it came down to it, we haven't seen Craven yet. Craven's probably going to be terrible. Right? But if it came down to it, and right now you tell me like, all right, we got to see a movie. Which movie you want to see? Y2K or Craven? I'd be like, yeah, Craven.
Yeah, Craven. Like they gave us a free T-shirt.
Yeah, free T-shirt and
candy,
another gift card.
Yeah, so it was worth it for the gift card.
Yeah, because I still got that gift card. That gift card saved me mad money on 35 millimeter tickets for a movie I'm going to talk about at the end of the show. Because the next movie I want you to talk about it with me. Because we're going to do a re-review of it. But yeah. So
Y2K. I maybe he should go back to Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, man. The trailer. If you've seen the trailer,
You've seen the movie.
Don't see the movie because the trailer. This is the problem with. Here's the problem. A24 has fallen into the trap where they make trailers too good. So if the movie is not good, then you're just like, well, shit. But then, like, if the movie's great, you're like, well, it's A24 again. You know, delivering that quality. They fall into that Warner Brothers trap because Warner Brothers is also they know how to put together a great trailer.
Yeah, like this. The trailer is funnier than the movie.
Yeah, you say that again.
Yeah, I like the like for the first half hour. I was with it because it's all that nostalgia beats. It was fun. It wasn't funny, but it was fun.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I was engaged.
Yeah, but
and then once you get to the party, I was just like, it's starting to lose some steam somehow.
Right. Yeah, like if I wanted Superbad meets This Is the End, and I got none of that.
Ooh, that's a good comparison. Superbad, because you're like, yeah, Superbad manages to be funny throughout the motherfucker.
Right, like it has big Superbad vibes without being good.
Yeah, it's lacking the heart and the jokes that movie had.
Right. Yeah, so Y2K. That's it. That's all I got for you.
Yeah, man. Whatever. All right, let's move on. I want to talk about I saw Wicked again in 4DX. So you've seen it twice, now I've seen it twice. Mm-hmm. If you have it in 4DX, definitely see it. I will say this. Watching this, I should not have a better time seeing this movie again over Y2K. and I will say this. I told Jeff this. Walking out of Wicked, I'm like, it's pretty cool that I got to see Gladiator 2, a big sandal and swords epic for adults, and then walk into this, which is a fantasy musical. And they're complete opposites, but like it makes a great double feature. Like we need programming like this where we get big movies that are the opposite that come out against each other. That's why Barbie and Oppenheimer worked. You guys got to start counter programming correctly again with good movies.
Yeah. I got sorry, I got distracted. I really, the more and more I think about Wicked, the more and more, like, I think it's a movie that we all needed, you know? It's topical, but it's fun, it's engaging, and it's just fucking, it's fun. Like, it's lovely, and it was made with love.
Definitely do 4DX because that shit shakes all throughout. Like I went just for the defying gravity sequence, and then once the movie started, I was like, "Oh, okay." Like y'all made sure this is very as much interactive as possible. Especially that opening shot where the flying monkeys fly through Oz. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like that chair was rocking, baby, and the 3D is pretty good.
Okay, yeah, I still have yet to see it in 3D.
Yeah, so all my friends who saw Moana, they said Moana, like the only way they enjoyed. They said they probably would have hated it if they did not see it in 4DX because they're like, yeah, 4DX was made for Moana. I was like, fuck. I was like, all right, well, I guess before we meet up for Interstellar, I'm gonna try and sneak that in. But yeah, Moana, Wicked, man. I've made my top 10 list. I still got to make my best of list for this show, but it did not make my top 10. I like it. I like it a lot. It's a great movie. I just don't think it's good enough for top 10, nor is it best film of 2024.
I mean, depends on what your metrics are for best. Like, is it the most crowd pleasing? Sure. Yeah. Is it it's well crafted. I don't think it's the best of the year.
But here's my thing on a rewatch. I get where people's complaints are coming from because John M. Chu, he does backlight a lot of this shit, and I'm like, yeah, the backlighting does not help
I didn't even
the
notice that.
effects
Yeah.
or the sets. I don't know why it had to be backlit, like blown out backlit. Like we could already see everything, dog. You don't have to backlight everything. Like,
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. Yeah.
And I will say, like, the CG is like, it is like rough at points.
I mean, like the monkeys definitely.
The shot of the main characters from the Wizard of Oz at the beginning. I don't know why Dorothy's CG.
Yeah, but it was so quick. It was so quick that I wasn't able to even lock in on it.
Don't get me wrong, Defying Gravity, love that sequence, but the cape, man, I was like, y'all couldn't just make a real cape.
I mean, I dug the cape. Like it did it for me. Like
it's cool,
moves.
but like, damn, bro, like just have some cloth, man, and make it flow. Because everybody keeps asking Peter Jackson, like, how'd you make Frodo's cape move like that and flow like that when he runs out the frame in Fellowship? And he's just like, oh, we just made a flowing cape. If you want that superhero look, just we got the materials, man. Just make it shit. But yeah, wicked, entertaining, great, better than I was gonna thought it would be. It's still enjoyable the second time through. It will make my end of list, but not top 10. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
Right.
Yeah, can't argue that.
Because if we're giving part one's best picture, then there's no excuse that Dune didn't win best picture. If that's the case.
Right.
So, with that, let's move on to NOSFERATU. There's not going to be any spoilers in this motherfucker. I'm going to be real with you. This was my first time seeing NOSFERATU, the story itself. Like, I haven't seen the German silent film. I've only seen, like, pictures from it. And I know Werner Herzog did his own version of it, which I desperately been trying to find ever since seeing this. This feels like the film Robert Eggers has been building to be quite honest with you. Like, this feels like all of his sensibilities finally honed into one cohesive whole. Don't get it twisted. This is still a Robert Eggers movie. More than anything, I appreciate the gothic, creepy atmosphere. Like, I'm on edge the entire time just because I didn't really know what to expect. Like, I knew NOSFERATU was Dracula, like the German Dracula. Or in this version, he's Romanian. So the Romanian Dracula. I was just like, but like, really, what I got from this, besides Robert Eggers going fucking insane, is the performances from Bill Skarsgård and Lily Rose Depp. Like, Lily Rose Depp, holy shit, she should be nominated.
She's that good, huh?
Yeah. Listen, Robert Eggers has said in interviews on this press tour, he's like, I made sure, I'm usually take heavy, and he does a lot of takes. He said he made sure not to do too many takes because he could clearly see the performance that she was given, and he didn't want her to, like, literally collapse.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Off the jump, it's unsettling.
I mean, most of his movies are. Just
from the jump. Like, it starts off and you're just like, oh no, this is not going to end well. And it just keeps building from there, building. And honestly, even Aaron Taylor Johnson is incredible in this. I'm
okay.
Yo, listen.
Okay.
I was surprised too. I was just like, oh, yeah. But yeah, the portrayal of NOSFERATU in this, when you first see him, you're like, oh, that's why y'all are hiding him in the marketing, because it is a totally disgusting and unique look to a vampire. Like,
wait.
There's no traces of Bill Skarsgård on screen. I was just like, holy shit. Like, even Pennywise, you could still tell under the makeup that's Bill.
It's Bill, right.
But this one, I'm like, yo, bro, like that, he is gone. Honestly, NOSFERATU himself makes me want to grow out a mustache. I was like, damn, get my Clark Gable on. Now I could be like a cross between Clark Gable and NOSFERATU, just twisting my mustache like a true villain. The score is crazy. I can't remember who did the score, but it is fucking insane. But like, let's talk about the cinematography, because I told you, Jeff, and I'm still blown away by this. And I've seen this movie now like 2 weeks ago, and I'm still like, I want those lenses. Like, if he never uses those lenses again, I'll be like, yo, Robert, I will give you 2 G's on a payment plan, not up front, but on a payment plan. I'll give you 2 G's for those lenses that he created to make it look like 19th century romanticism paintings, because I remember them talking about like, oh yeah, the way we shot with these lenses, it looks like it's in black and white, but it's really in color. And that's true, because they'll be standing in like shadows and you could see the actors even though they're in shadows, and it looks like it's in black and white. And then they'll stand in front of a window and it's in color. And I'm just like, bro, how the fuck are they doing this? This is amazing. Like, depending on where the light is, it's either in color or black and white. Just from the way the people are walking. And like, for a movie that's all in shadow, you would think, oh, bro, it's going to be hard to see. But you can see everything. Like, it's all mood. They lit it perfectly. The fact that you can see people's faces in shadows, I really am stunned by what they pulled off. And they shot this shit on film. That's what's crazy too. Like, it's shot on a specific 35 millimeter film stock, because the aspect ratio is almost, it's not as claustrophobic as the Lighthouse, but it's almost the same aspect ratio as the Lighthouse. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, it's, I'm really like, I cannot wait to see this again. This is hands down like my 3rd favorite film of the year. Like, I went into this with high expectations, okay? And my expectations were exceeded. Like, I've been looking forward to this shit since The Witch, because he's been talking about making this movie since The Witch. And now that he's did it, it's just like, damn, bro, like, yeah, you could feel it on screen. Like, everybody, and like, maybe might be the most unhinged William Dafoe performance so far, which is saying a lot, because he's unhinged in The Lighthouse and he is fucking insane in the brief like 5-10 minutes he's in The Northman.
Oh man, I love unhinged Willem Dafoe.
The first movie he says he doesn't hate.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, shout out to Robert Eggers, man. Like, Robert Eggers just looks like, every interview and every Q&A I've seen him at, he just looks like, I fucking hate all of you and I want to spit on all of you. I was like, yeah, I appreciate that energy.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah. But like, look, it's like The Witch, in that it does feel like you're watching something inherently evil unfold on screen. And I think the ending is going to piss off a lot of people, but I loved it.
I cannot wait.
This is a movie for sickos, because Robert Eggers makes movies for sickos. And as a sicko, man, I cannot wait to succumb to the darkness over and over and over again.
All right. December 25th, Christmas Day. Let's do it.
Yeah. Look, next episode, you'll be getting a review of A Complete Unknown. And I'm just going to come out and say, go see NOSFERATU, bro. Like, I'll get into it more next episode, but like, NOSFERATU, that should be, unless you have kids, then if you have kids, then yeah, you take them to see Mufasa or Sonic. But like, if you don't have kids, bro, why the fuck were you not going to see anything but NOSFERATU? Like, you should be ashamed of yourself if you're not going to see NOSFERATU on Christmas Day. Like, shit, if I was going on Christmas Day to see NOSFERATU, I'd be driving to the theater. Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg. Batmobile lost the wheel and the Joker got away.
100% blasphemous.
Yo, yeah, I fucking love this movie, man. Like, yo, I cannot, as with everything he's done, I always walk out being like, man, I can't wait to see what this motherfucker does next. Yeah, so that's episode 142. We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, aka He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.